to Eternal Manna, the daily devotional broadcast of Grace Gospel Church. We are looking at Psalm 59, where David is giving us a very detailed description of his enemies and how they operate. As we continue looking at it, we look at verse 14. Verse 14. The enemies were told in the morning that David was sick. You can kind of picture it. Here are Saul's forces. They go and knock on the door of David's house. And David's wife appears and says, sorry, but David can't meet you. He's sick. He's in bed. So these forces of Saul go back to King Saul and report. So what does Saul do? He orders these men that they should bring David to him on his sick bed. So that's what happened in the morning. Now, verse 6 talks about what happens in the evening. Verse 6, they return in the evening. They have got the orders from Saul to bring David on that sick bed to him. They return in the evening and it says snarling like dogs. Now, these are not pet dogs. These are scavenger stray dogs, dogs on the streets. And they are snarling. They are very vicious, very vicious. You can hear they are growling. You can hear that noise. Psalm 22 and verse 16 says, dogs have surrounded me. A band of evil men have encircled me. Dogs have surrounded me. Now in Psalm 59 verse 6, it further says, these enemies, the forces of Saul, they prowl about the city. They are patrolling the city. They are walking down every street and they are taking position before houses, intersections, just to make sure that David is not going to escape at all. And they have covered all the tracks, all the bases. And verse 7 talks about a favorite tactic of the enemy. We have seen this before. Verse 7, they spew out words. They spew out words. Words are coming out of their mouth very easily. In the Hebrew, it talks about bubble and burst. You know, you blow a bubble and the bubble gets bigger and bigger. And then at one point it bursts. And the words of the enemy are just like a bubble that becomes bigger and that bursts. And they are pouring out their words. And this is what is called intimidation, psychological warfare through the use of words. And these words are meant to reach the ears of David and to put fear into his heart, to paralyze him with fear, to render him inactive, that he cannot even move. The power of words, positively and also negatively. You and I are called to use our words positively, to bless people, to encourage people. But sadly, words can be also used in a very negative way to bring down people, to bring harm, and to cause confusion and to bring fear among the ranks of people. That's exactly what Goliath did for 40 days when he stood up and he ranted at the people of God and the God of Israel. And his words struck fear into the hearts of King Saul and all the people, until, of course, David showed up. And then things took a different turn. So today, let's be vigilant that the enemy will use words to intimidate us. And let's not listen to the voice of the enemy, but let's listen to the voice of God. Amen.